Welcome in, everyone, to another live of the Yankees Den podcast. I am your host, Lorenzo Scarabino, and the Yankees win their third straight, their first three-game win streak for the first time since mid-June. So, great job by them to get out on an early lead and, or not early lead, but win three straight before the All-Star break heading into there. I know it's a late one. I just got home from a family party, so sorry about that. But they win 4-2 tonight, and they rally late again last night, or I should say the night before last night, because right now it's a new day, so it's not, yesterday's game anymore. But they came back in the ninth, and now they come back in the eighth. Great job by them to rally back, and they have hit the home runs necessary when they needed to. But let's get into this recap, and then we'll hit the notes. This is gonna be I'll go over things quick and keep it short and sweet for you guys, but we'll go over meaningful notes that I had in the game, and we'll talk about Cam Schlittler. But James Wood, Curtis Mead hit home runs in the first off of Cam Schlittler, and it's 2-0 Nats quick. And they have the best average on fastballs. So it was a good test for Cam Schlittler coming into tonight. So his command wasn't there, but he still went 6 2/3 innings, pitched into the seventh. He gave up 4 walks, which is a high, and 2 runs. And listen, he's not going to pitch and have 1 or 0 runs every single outing. It's going to happen. But he still pitched phenomenal. It's only 2 runs, and it was in the first inning, and then he settled down and worked through it. But then the Yankees don't do anything offensively until the eighth inning, and Ryan McMahon comes through to get them up and on the board. He hits a home run. He crushes this home run. He cranks it, right? 2-1. He finally turns, hits one, pull side, and it was a bomb. 2-1 Nationals now. And in that eighth inning, he started it off. They started feeling good. Ben Rice works a walk. They pinch run him for Caballero, and then Trent Grisham comes up off of former Yankee Clayton Beeter, and he gets a high fastball, and he cranks it. He turns and burns. 2-run home run to give them the lead. 3-2 Yankees in the eighth. The Yankees fight back late again, like I said, and they aren't done yet in the eighth, as to finish it off, a great eighth inning rally and 4 runs in the eighth. Paul Goldschmidt got 2 hits yesterday, broke out of his funk. He joins the party with a solo homer of his own, joining Ryan McMahon for solo home runs, and it's 4-2 at the end of eight. Then Cruz comes in to the bottom half, shuts it down, and Bednar shuts the door in the ninth inning. He does let a runner get on, but nothing to go crazy about or hold your breath about. And the Yankees take the series from the Nationals and have won 3 straight. Great to see. And you got to start having conversations about locking Bednar off because he's a free agent after this year. He's now at a 2.7 ERA after he was overworked maybe because of the WBC. Then the Yankees were using him for 5 out saves early on, but he's looked spectacular as of late. He hasn't been overused. He's been used for 1 inning, the ninth inning to close out games, and he's looked solid. He's been nails. Now, the Yankees show a lot of fight late, right? Yesterday, like I said, it was the ninth. Today, it was the eighth inning. Yes, they relied on the home run, so when the home runs aren't there, it's a problem. But Grisham still producing when he came back, because before he got injured, no. Before Trent Grisham got injured, in the last 30 games, he was batting close to 300. Now, post IL stint, he's hitting good as well. He's getting on base. He got 2 hits today. So that's great to see. You love to see it. And he always comes in with the clutch. And I find it funny how the Yankees batted him third and Aaron Boone batted him third for a second straight game. And maybe they're finally looking at the analytics because they kept leading him off. But if you look at the analytics, and I think the Yankees are so heavy analytically managed, is Trent Grisham actually produces better with guys on base in front of him. So they put him third. Ben Rice gets on base ahead of him, and he does better. And he comes up in the clutch in the eighth inning and hits a 2-run go-ahead home run. I love that. Great fight, great grit. And this is what we've been talking about the whole year with this group is last year's team and teams before they hit this swoon in the summer, June, July, and it carries on until the end of August, and then September they get a little hot streak, get into the playoffs. But this has happened in years past, and they've waited for the All-Star break. This team this year has been different. They've limited those stretches. Yes, it was a horrendous stretch, 21 games or something like that, and they were horrendous. Very poor baseball, and you thought it was over. They still need to make moves, and the weaknesses got brought to light more with those losses. But they're getting on a win streak before the All-Star break. You love to see it. Teams in years past, they lost series to the Rockies before the All-Star break and after the All-Star break. Now you got the Nationals. Try and sweep tomorrow with Will Warren on the mound. Hopefully he pitches good, gives you a solid outing and the offense a chance. But if you go in with a sweep, even you just won the series, which is great. Now you're riding high, and then you face the Dodgers out of the gates after the All-Star break. That's going to be a tough challenge without your top guys. But the Yankees can do it. They look good today. Cam Schlittler, he was shaky, right? His command was not there. He was spiking stuff in the dirt. He was leaving stuff high. He was missing away inside. His cutter and stuff, he was using his curveball more. He probably noted that they're a good fastball hitting team. And he grinded. And these are starts you love to see from a youngster. You love to see him get tested and grind and still be able to grit it out and give you 6 2/3 of 2-run ball, 6 strikeouts still, and get you through and get out of jams. You love to see that. That's how young players grow, not by dominating every start. This is how. Grinding out, pushing through, facing adversity. What are you going to change in between innings? What are you going to change during the start? That's how you find great pitchers. Is in the first inning, they could look shaky, give up a few runs, and then they come out like a completely different pitcher and settle in. That's when you know you have a stud and a star in your hands, when you have a good, polished, professional pitcher. Do I think Cam needs to work on his secondaries? 100%. But if he can figure out if they're on his fastball, how to differentiate the pitches, mix in the curveball well, keep him a little bit more off balance, then that's great. He got late into the 7th inning and gave us a chance to come back. And in the 8th inning, we finally exploded. Now, I talked about Grisham. Now, are they going to keep doing that? What do they do when Judge comes back? Because they batted Rosario leadoff 2 games in a row. And I find that a little interesting because Boone bats Rosario leadoff again, knowing that Michaelis had an opener for him and he was going to come in. I knew that he was going to deploy McMahon soon into the game. And he knew that McMahon would be in the leadoff spot. So I find that interesting. I really do. McMahon did hit a home run in front of Ben Rice and got that whole thing started. But McMahon's a guy who typically, and I love McMahon, but he's typically a guy who swings and misses a lot. And you want someone with more contact and who gets on base more. But still, he did his job. He got on base. I'm not complaining. And I think Yankee fans, Yankees Twitter, you guys need to stop talking about replacing him. McMahon is just fine at the position. He plays good defense behind your guys, behind your pitchers. He helps them out. And he's been fine with the bat. He's been heating up as of late. Since I saw something, I think it was since May 9th or something, he's batting close to 300. But I love me some McMahon. And Chris D, thanks for the comment. Up late show. Thank you for joining. He says, Fire me up, Lorenzo. 1:30 a.m. New York Yankee baseball talk. Of course, Chris. You know we're always here for the live. I'm always up to talk Yankees baseball. I just had something, but I had to get on here and talk about it. Great win. And Chris says nothing, and I mean bringing fires me up more than a Yankee late inning road rally. Of course, on the road too in the eighth inning, Trent Grisham made for the moment, and I have to say, I've been wrong about him, right? He's proved me wrong ever since maybe I need to come out and talk bad about players. I come out and talk bad about Grisham, he starts going off and crazy. But I will say one thing is Trent Grisham, since becoming a Yankee, any moment, even his first year when Soto was there and he just came off the bench, like he did against the Dodgers, and they were chanting Soto and he hit the home run to take the lead. He's been clutch for us. He has been clutch. Except for the playoffs last year, he cooled off a little bit. But he has been clutch in regular season play, I will say. And do you guys think the Yankees look to extend him after this year? I don't think they should. I think they should give it to Dominguez or Jones. But I'm just raising the question. Let me know your thoughts. And Evan Spitzy _4. Thanks for joining in. Love to see you back in the chat. It's a late one too, so I'm surprised you guys made it and you guys are still awake. I love it. And he says, "Yo, I made it. Good to see you. Good to see you too." Can you guys also let me know in the comments right now, Evan and Chris and whoever else is in here watching, if my mic sounds good? Because I was watching my video back from yesterday and it sounded a little like muffled and low than to videos in the past. It sounded a little more clear. So I don't know what could be going on, but can you let me know if it sounds good or does it sound low and a little muffled? Because to me, it sounds fine, but I don't know how it's coming out to you guys. But Chris D says, "How hyped do you get, Lorenzo, when your college team comes from behind?" Listen, my college team this year, we actually beat off some nationally ranked teams in our division. And we would come back, we would rally, hit some home runs. It was fun. And it was fun to be a part of it when I was playing and making good plays and contributing, getting on, starting off a rally. I actually started off a rally. We were down by 5 runs, I want to say. It was 8-3 and we had 2 more innings left. I started off the inning and and I leaded it off with a single, stole second base, and we got the merry-go-round going. But yeah, so it fires me up, and to see my favorite team, Yankees, it fires me up even more. And ROT Services says, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you for that. Yes, hit the like button, subscribe, guys. It helps me out a ton. And Evan, thank you guys. Says it sounds good. And Christy says your mic sounds immaculate. Thank you for that. I appreciate that because I don't know what's been going on, why sometimes it goes in and out. But do you guys find it weird getting back to Rosario McMahon? Do you find it weird that he led off McMahon? Like he knew he was gonna have to put in McMahon early in the game once Miles Michaelis came into the game. I don't know if he's trying something new out, if they're looking more at the analytics and they want Trent Grisham in third with guys coming up. So let me know your guys' thoughts on that. But like I said, I don't mind it because Trent or Ryan McMahon and Trent Grisham did their thing. And Ben Rice has been hitting and got ahead. So, you know, I'm not complaining at all. But please stop this slander. And Yankees Twitter fans, please overreacting, saying we need to replace him. Someone else needs to take over. Just put him on the bench. No, McMahon can contribute, and he could come big in a playoff series. He can. You got to trust the process with a guy like that, and you need guys on the team like that. He's there for his defense. Any offensive production is great from him. So you just got to take the good with the bad and ride with it. You know what I mean? And we're getting into the deadline. So, and you got guys like Casey Schmidt coming around. So where would you play him? Would you take McMahon out of the lineup? And then you start speculating, right? You trade for a guy like that. That's why I'm more inclined to trade for a guy like Luis Arraez. You trade for Casey Schmidt, right? You put him at third, and then you have McMahon on the bench, but then you have Rosario at the bench. Now, where are you playing all these guys, right? Because now where are you playing Rosario? Are you just pinch hitting? So, but then we have the pen holding it down. They did a good job, and they've done a good job so far. Hedrick got into trouble. He comes in the seventh inning after Schiller comes out. He has 2 outs already. He gets the bases loaded and juiced, and he escapes his own mess. Thankfully, he's been great, but I was a little worried. I was shaking. I was like, "Come on, please don't." Excuse me. Please don't make it more out of reach. But Cruz pitched a clean eighth inning, and Bednar closed it out in the ninth, and he's been nails. Our pen, actually, for you guys, has the best major league ERA in the game. They have a 3.05, if I'm not mistaken. How is that? And it seems like we complain about them and they blow leads. And I said this in my past life. Is it more so that they're actually good, but the errors from Volpe and Rosario just make it seem like the bullpen's bad, giving up these unearned runs? Is it just an illusion to us, or are all bullpens across the MLB just blowing leads left and right and nobody's safe in the league? I mean, what are we witnessing? This is the best team ERA bullpen in the major leagues, and we're complaining. I, I cannot believe that stat. I really can't. But and I think it's something that needs to be asked if you guys still have a problem with this pen and this group of guys, because is Cashman, if we're thinking about it, us fans, is Cashman going to raise the idea, say, hey, we might not be need to go outside the org and get a guy to fix it outside the organization. We can fix it internally. So maybe we go out and use our depth more on a starter, a catcher, and another bat instead of bullpen. And I'm going to ask you guys, would you mind that? Would you mind if they didn't get bullpen out? They brought up Giovanni Cruz, they inserted Schmidt, they inserted Weathers, right? And if LeGrand's healthy in time and he can come back, he makes an impact. Chavilli's good, Hedrick's good, these guys are good. Do you stick with that group and trust them in the postseason? Or do you guys want to go out and get someone? Let me know your thoughts on that. But I wouldn't mind if you traded that for another big time starter. If it was a bullpen, 2 bullpen pieces for a big time starter, which one are you choosing? I'd argue you go and get the starter, like a Schoolboy or a Joe Ryan. And now, in my opinion, I really don't know if the Yankees are going to go out and make a run for Schoolboy. And the Tigers are playing well as of late. I really don't know if the Yankees, if the Dodgers are going to go after him. The Mets, another big market, they're not playing well, so they're not going to go after him. Who's going to go out and get them? Is it going to be Tampa Bay? Are they going to make a splash and be scary? Who knows? So, listen, you never know, but I would go out and say, get everyone. Go get a starter. Go get a bullpen. Go get a catcher. Go get a bat. You're the New York Yankees. And we'll talk a little bit about the draft of what we saw today, because that could be a hint that some things going on in the deadline. Now, Evan says, which college team do you play for? I play for OCC. That's the team I play for. And Chris D says, Lorenzo Scarabino Jeter. Yep. Call me up, Cashman. Don't make any trades. Don't bring up, you know what? Trade Lombard. Call me. I'll give you my number. Look at the Yankees Den podcast. Send me an email. I'll give you my number. Call me in. I'll come down whenever you want. And, just insert me at shortstop. And then trade Jazz, get Luis Arraez. I'll play up the middle with Luis Rise. And, maybe Cabby could teach me a few things of his game. You know what I mean? But listen, thank you guys. And Jason says, "What's up? What's up, Jason? How are you? Thank you for being in here, the late show." He said, "Love your dedication, 1:45 a.m. stream." Yes, gotta be out here. It doesn't matter what time. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be doing this. I will be here every night for you guys. Jimmy will join me sometimes. I will have a co-host. If you guys are new, I do have a co-host. Sometimes he's here, sometimes he's not, but I will always be here as your host. I love talking Yankees. I love going over the game. Even though it's late, I'm still gonna put stuff out for you guys, just so you guys, even the next morning, you guys can watch it, because I know me watching the game, I'm always like, well, what are other Yankee fans thinking? What's going through other Yankee fans' mind? What do they want? I know what I want and what I would do, but let me bounce ideas off of other Yankee fans. It's always great to see in a community like the Yankee fans, the biggest fan base, the best fan base in the game, what we're all thinking. Because there's a bunch of decisions that could be made, a bunch of avenues the Yankees could go down, and what happens during the game. If people feel different, some people like Boone and his decisions, some people don't like Boone and his decisions. So it's really just getting into the minds of the people and what they like about the Yankees, what they don't, what they think needs to be fixed, what they think should stay. So I love that. I'll always be live for you guys. Thanks for your support, and I love I love this comment. Love your dedication. Thank you. I really do appreciate you. You have no idea how much I appreciate that starting this. And I just want to say thank you guys again, because we finally hit 100 subscribers. Our first milestone. We hit 100 subscribers today, earlier in the afternoon. So I appreciate that so much. I'm so excited and so happy to keep doing this. And I love all the support that I am getting. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, comment, and all that good stuff to help me out with the videos. But getting into our next set of notes is Miles Michaelis. Now, this is pretty funny because I said this yesterday and I called it actually. Miles Michaelis pitched good against us somehow, some way. This guy doesn't even look like he's trying to throw the baseball. He doesn't stretch down the mound. He's literally just chucking that thing, lifting his leg up and chucking it. And how he shut us. I mean, he was throwing some meatballs. Later in the game, Paul Goldschmidt, helped himself out with the solo home run. But it was gone first and second, no outs, and he hit into a double play on a meatball fastball right down the middle. And he got on top of it. I mean, we were missing some big pitches. And also, we were hitting some things hard, just right at people. I will say. Thankfully, their bullpen stinks. Thankfully. I think they've like given up the most leads in the majors, something of that nature. But thank God for it. And the Yankees had grit and enough fight. And Trent Grisham, I've been wrong about you, buddy. Please keep producing. I love seeing it. I love seeing the late rallies. It fires me up. And that's what you need in the playoffs. Is you're gonna need late rallies in the eighth inning. You're going to need clutch hits. You're going to need clutch moments. And I know we say that the Yankees rely on the home run ball a lot. And they do. I mean, they hit home runs today. That's how they won. They came back, they hit all home runs. But also, I don't know why Anthony Volpe started, because we're saying they rely on home runs. But if you want to change that, you keep playing a guy like Caballero who bunts, steals, wreaks havoc, like we saw in the last game versus the Rays, right? He makes things happen, generates runs, so then you can score a pass. You steal second, a pass throw into the outfield. You're a third now, ground ball with 1 out or 2 outs, less than 2 outs, scores you. That generated a run. Now that's not relying on home runs. So you need to mix in the power with the speed and agility and all of that athleticism. So I don't know why that's the only complaint I have tonight. I don't know why Volpe was in. And Evan says, good luck with your baseball seasons. Thank you. I appreciate that, Evan, a lot. But yeah, that was my only concern. And thing I said that my short today, or going over the lineup and before first pitch, is Volpe's in. Now I don't know why. Maybe they're trying to showcase him before the deadline comes around because they're gonna look to trade him. Now the Yankees getting into trades and the deadline or who they're gonna trade away and not. The Yankees drafted two pitchers today, and I liked the pitchers. I liked what I was seeing about these pitchers. And they drafted a catcher. I'm pretty sure they drafted another hitter, an outfielder maybe, or maybe it was another catcher. I have to look at who the other person was. But I know they drafted two pitchers right off the bat. Now, is that telling you they're about to offload a bunch of pitching? They have a bunch of pitching in their farm. Are they about to send a lot of pitching away? And Austin Wells or JC Escara? And are they going to have a big deadline? And last year they low key did have a big deadline. They made a ton of moves. Cashman made a ton of moves. Now in hindsight, you make the trades last year. You thought Doval was going to be good. So you can't say sometimes Brian Cashman, like a Ryan McMahon trade. Yes, that might have been a bad trade, even though I like McMahon because you're eating all that money. Colorado's not eating any of that money. You're eating all that money for a guy, who's going to hit maybe a little bit below average, but he plays spectacular defense, but you're paying him $16 million a year, right? But if you trade for a guy like Doval, who's supposed to be a closer, and he's good, and he has electric stuff, and he comes over and he's trash, now is that really your fault? If you trade for a guy like Mason Miller, that's the guy you're supposed to go out and get, and he does trash. Now, are you going to blame Brian Cashman or the GM for that? Sometimes you can't, and sometimes you can. Because Doval was supposed to be good, and it just didn't work out. Jake Bird, that was a bad trade because his ERA was a little inflated, and he was overused. And last year he didn't help us at all, and this year he really hasn't been good. So you got to think about those things. Now, Evan says Grisham is producing. When he is healthy, the team performs better. And yes, Evan, and I was wrong. I was dead wrong because at the beginning he got off to a slow start. And I did say this when I first started the show, is he was getting more hate. I'll say hate or disliked, and especially from me a little bit. I was being a little bit more harder on him because he had a $22 million price tag attached to him. Now, last year he didn't have that price tag attached. So what he did was overperforming what he was making. But this year it's like, okay, you have to perform that. That's what you have to be doing if you're going to make 22 million. Because the Yankees were trying to get cute and get a pick, and he winded up opting into the deal because no one was going to give him that much a year. So now he's finding it out, and he's been hitting good before the injury, after the injury now. So you love to see it. He's an easy guy. He really is an easy guy and a likable guy to root for. So I'm glad he's performing well and helping the Yankees. I hope he just does it in the postseason. Along with everyone, I hope they perform in the postseason. Now, Evan says, I don't understand why they change the lineup so often. Me either, Evan. Me either. I don't understand. Keep guys in the same positions. Don't be like, oh, I'm playing caddy too much, so I have to get Volpe in there. I can't hurt his feelings. No, the heck with that. Don't worry about that. Just trade the guy or send him down. Keep guys in the same position. Keep the same order, consistent order. Builds chemistry. It flows better. They start to get used to it. When they just come to the locker room and they don't know where they're batting or where they're playing, it messes with a player because they have to change their preparation before the game every single game. What do you think Caballero feels like when Volpe was back and he was playing left field one day, center field, third base, shortstop, second base? His routine was off the whole day. Every day it was off. It was different. So, it messes with a player. And Jason says, if the Yankees fire Aaron Boone, would you want Carlos Mendoza back on the coaching staff or possibly as manager? Now, this is actually an interesting question because ever since he was fired, I've I have thought about it. And I did like Carlos Mendoza as the bench coach. I really did. And it wasn't his fault what happened with the Mets because the Mets they're poor constructed. They have good names, they have big names, but David Stearns just picked up a bunch of guys and just placed them wherever out of position. You can't do that. He picked up Bo Bichette. We're going to move him to third base. He has a terrible glove, but we're just going to move him to third base. We're going to get Jorge Polanco. He doesn't play first base, but let's just teach him first base anyway. Robert, yes, he's a good change of scenery guy. He always gets in. We're going to stick him in center field. Yes, that's his position. We're going to move Juan Soto around from left field, right field. His defense isn't good to begin with. So we're just going to plug guys everywhere and hope that it works out. You can't do that. You can't do that. You got to get guys where the positions are made to be played. Now, there are exceptions for certain players, but you got to get players and play them where they're supposed to. And guys got injured. So that is not Mendoza's fault. So honestly, to answer your question, I would bring him back as the bench coach or something in the coaching staff because I like the way he coached a little bit. I know I have some Mets friends that were, a little bit, in between on him. But I actually liked him as a bench coach. And I don't really like Brad Ausmus that much because what did he do when he managed? He didn't do that well. And he's all analytical too. I mean, I feel like all these coaches today are going to be analytical. For me, for manager, I would want an A-Rod. I would want a Posada, a Willie Randolph, Jeter, someone of that nature I would want as manager. I don't know if I would want Mendoza as my manager, but I would want him on the coaching staff. I actually did like him. And I said this when he went to the Mets. I actually did like him when he was the bench coach. So I hope that answers your question. And then we'll get into who do you guys think the Yankees are going to trade for? Goodman or Jeffers? Now, Goodman, and we've talked about this a little bit, and we're going to be talking about this with the deadline approaching quickly. And rumors are going to start coming out. They already have been. The Yankees have been linked to Ryan Jeffers. The Yankees have been linked to Hunter Goodman of having talks with the Rockies already and showing interest in Hunter Goodman. Hunter Goodman has 27 home runs. He has 50 RBIs, and he has an almost 900 OPS and a 250 average. He strikes out more than Jeffers, but he hits tanks. And you know why it's so good? He hits well outside of course. That's what you want. He hits well away, not just home. And Jason says, yes, thank you. And he says, follows up 100% agree with you. Yeah, so that's what I would do. I think Mendoza is a smart mind. But Hunter Goodman is great, but any guy you get for catcher, they're going to be better than Wells, and they're going to make your lineup that much better. Now, hopefully, them drafting these guys, if we keep seeing them get more starters, we might be buckle up. Some tough starters might be going out. ERC might be going out. Maybe they make a big splash and LeGrande goes. We'll see what happens. But wrapping this up, going into tomorrow's probables, we have Will Warren going up against Cade Cavalli. It's a 1:35 p.m. Eastern time start time. It will be broadcasted on Yes. It's an early day game, another day game. Let's hope the Yankees can sweep the Nationals before the All-Star break, and we got the home run derby. We have some fun things to look forward to. Hopefully, Will Warren gives them a solid start. We need to see something positive out of him. He's been bad. He needs, and for his sake, and for our sake, hopefully he looks a little decent, so he's a little more tradable, and more teams want him. But please put the Yankees in a position to win 3 or less runs. I always say, except for Cam Schlitter, because you expect him to be your ace and give you, 2 or less runs. But Cole, Rodon, Weathers, Warren, 3 or less runs, 5 to 6 innings. I want to see the offense come out swinging early. Kate Cavalli isn't that great, and let's ride into the home run derby and All Star break with a sweep of the Nats. How about that? That's all I got tonight on the Yankees Den podcast. I'm your host, Lorenzo Scarabino. Thanks for joining in on this late night live. But I love all the support, all the comments. Thank you again for 100 subscribers. Let's keep growing this thing. And I'll see you tomorrow night, or should I say tonight because it's a new day. It's July 12th. And as always, let's go Yankees.